Okay, here we go with game 4. And in this game we'll be playing against Shinobi, who is playing Replicating Perfection. And let's look at this opening hand. Again, double interface, some economy in the form of the cache, and a sentry breaker. This is pretty much a great hand. Like, we probably want to continue along the path of jamming stuff and then just running. So this is an unusual start for RP. But there's nothing wrong with R&D, surely. There we go. So you go R&D interface, run R&D, install cache. Okay, well, so we did it out of sequence, but yeah, we're on no credits. But there's a pad campaign and a caprice, which you cannot take the credits off there and then use them to trash the caprice. There's no paid ability window while you're accessing, so. And that gains us 1 off the excitingly res dice wall. Okay, so his econ is up and travelling. He's just kind of spitting out acids. That will be the pad campaign that we saw. And yeah, he's now got something defending that that R&D. So yeah, and then we should install that to get us back down to 0 credits, and then run at the R&D again. Oh right, we found another cache. Oh, we're just installing the HQ interface. Okay, that seems like a reasonable approach. Jackson, and there's an NAPD in there that we've seen, right. Is that really going to be the NAPD, do we think? It is, because he realises that there's no way for us to get to 4 credits unless he reses this ice here. So he's forced not to, priced into not resing. We see a Tsurugi and a Celebrity Gift. Something that we could have done there in order to steal it, of course, is use our scavenge as an easy mark. Scavenge the cache for a cache, take the money off it and run at it and pay to the 4. But no, we give that one up. Draw again, still trying to just put some pressure on. Here I'm worried about a caprice or a future perfect, so I take some credits before accessing. Yeah, nothing in there that's worth going after. At this point, yeah. What I'm really looking for is to find my film critic. Okay, so there's Caprice, Celebrity Gift, Jackson, Crick and Tsurugi in his hand. So, and then, because he's installed in front of it, I've got a fair guess that that's going to be Tsurugi there. So we'll draw up. With 1 credit we can install our Astrolabe. We can run R&D again. Eventually he's going to have to res whatever's there and give us the credits for it, but yeah, so we'll take 2 in case we hit a feature perfect, which we do. side game time. Yep, and he pays 1 to keep us out. And then we run back at it again, and that does force the res. And here we have a slight altercation as he ETRs me before I can use the Nasir ability. It's not particularly relevant because we're both on 2, but I think when you're playing, it's polite to give people the opportunity to trigger any of their triggered abilities they've got, rather than just being super quick on the draw. I decide at this point arguing with him is probably not for the best. So we know there's at least a future perfect in his hand somewhere, and yeah, we see Yagura, Crick, Caprice, Jackson. Okay, so 1 point Order of Sol. Still no sign of like any reasonable breakers. The one thing that we can be sure of is that we don't need that Plascrete, so we can discard that and just basically keep drawing through our deck. We're really struggling to put up any kind of effort here. So this him at Tsubako, and then reinstalls 2 ice in front of R&D. We've finally found a breaker, a dog breaker. So here we're going to take 1 off there, click for 2, so we get our 1 credit discount from Order of Sol at least, which we'll then use to install that, because when his turn begins, Order of Sol will give us another credit. Yeah. So yeah, the Order of Sol can be very powerful if you've got a lot of cards in your deck which cost 1, and you can leave yourself at 0 credits. He's just drawing for me at this point, thanks to the incidental draw power of Astrolabe. He's got a bucket of credits, but there's not much we can do about that. We're Nasir, we certainly don't have the credits to go and trash his economy. So, having lost the economic battle, we are instead just going to try and go for the pressure game. Now, I've got my full Breaker Suite set, so what I really need now is a film critic. And then I can jam this second R&D interface and start pressuring his R&D. He's building his scoring remote now. And yeah, so I think he's that's probably a caprice in there as he's setting up to start slotting agendas in, which should mean that there are agendas in hand as well. Yeah, so now I am digging furiously for a film critic at this point. So I'm thinking about installing installing one of the R&D interfaces there, but no, what I really need is a critic. So I put that in, and it lets me discard the David so that I can bring it out mid-run. Also puts me on 0 again, so the Order of Sol can give me a credit. Yep. Him trashing his Jackson and shuffling back in means that that's made way for an agenda in there. There's pretty decent odds it's a Caprice, a Nisei Mark II. That's obviously not what we want to see, but at the same time, it's possible that we can't really contest it. What we could do with doing is, yeah, so we're going to take that. Are we? What are we going to do? In hindsight, what I'd like to do is take the credit off the cache, take 2, install the R&D interface, and then run at his R&D. But by drawing, I've run out of credits to do that. Run out of clicks. So what am I doing instead? So I'm going to run R&D, just hoping to prompt a res. There's a Yagura, so that's a net of 0, and we can get through that with our dog. And another Yagura. So we can make R&D runs. They're just going to be taxing on our doggy. And then, yeah, we're going to contest this. Leaving ourselves with 1 credit on Cage just in case of Caprice. But he decides to just res the Caprice. Yeah, that was a mistake. Again, I should have not taken the credits until after he'd used the Himitsu Bako. And actually, I miss a trick here. Because I didn't trigger Nasir's ability, I could have been on 3 credits instead of 2. Yeah. But that is an NAPD which I can't steal. So yes, slightly goofed that up. If I'd triggered Nasir's ability, the Order of Soul would have put me on 3. And if I hadn't taken the cache off prior to him rezzing, I could have been on 4. And then I could at least have trashed the Caprice when I'd got in. But no, again, I sequenced that pretty badly. I can definitely have played this game much tighter. But on the plus side, when your RP opponent has scored 2 4-for-2 agendas, you really want them to be NAPDs and not Nisseis. Yeah, so we finally found our film critic, and we know that there's a future perfect in his hand. So he reses the Tsurugi, we go up to 6, we match strength and double break to get in. And we see Jackson Howard and a Jackson Howard. Helpful. Yeah, at this point we're discarding is difficult. Obviously we're going to need the scavengers, but we discard the dog because it looks like barriers are not going to be a big issue for us. So he's installed and advanced again. See, this I do not understand, because if he's trying to score a future perfect, he should install advance and just go for it, and if he's not, why would you score another 4-2? So all he's doing is just delaying himself a turn. In the meantime, there's a Caprice and a Tsurugi. We scavenge that back. And we run here. So there's another Tsurugi, so we gain some more credits. Now I'm worried about there being another sentry at the end of this, so I'm going to not break all the subs. I'm just going to break the end of the runs. Losing the scavenge, but we can okay, so then there we're gonna match strength and break. I'm gonna break here. Now, here's some side game magic. I'm he expects me to bid 2 because he's going to bid 2 so that I can't trash the Caprice. But so he next levels himself and bids 1. I bank on him doing that. I get in, I trash the Caprice, and I make another stupid mistake here. It's a Future Perfect. I don't need to install it on the Film Critic when it's installed. I could just have stolen it. But I'd spent so long looking for the Film Critic that I was obsessed with doing that, so I cost myself 2 clicks for no reason. But yeah, we get in, we kill the Caprice, and we take the Future Perfect. Yeah, just checking to see what's in his archive. So here I'm in rebuild mode. Again, you need to clear that Film Critic as soon as possible. Ideally by not installing agendas on there that you didn't need to, but you know, such is life. Now, I don't ideally want to make another R&D run until I've got my next R&D interface down. So I am just taking some money here. I'm going to pop down this R&D interface, and then I'm going to go check his R&D. Jackson, Sundew, Celebrity Gift, Tsurugi, Mental Health means that no agendas in hand, no agendas in his archives. That means there's probably about 6 left in that R&D of 23. And yeah, he has reinforced his R&D, knowing that he's just revealed to me that that's the only place that agendas exist at the moment. So I draw up, but I'm not really drawing into anything in particular. There's just kind of durdling here. I know that what I should be doing is running at his R&D. I think it's possible I'm looking for another scavenge to try and reset my my blue dog. But really what I should be doing here is installing the R&D interface and just going at his R&D, which hopefully is what I'm going to do. Yes, here we go. Oh no, I go as HQ. Yeah, oh right, yes, that's right, I misclicked. And it's another Tsurugi, so here we're going to match strength. I'm going to break 2 and tell him to deal 2 net damage to us. Then we can break that. That. And C is top 3. A DBS. And an APD, that can live on my... and an Issei. Hey look, that looks like 7 points unless he can score out this turn, which I know he can't. So he concedes, doesn't give me the GGs, and takes off. So finally a win. A fairly lucky one, but I will take